Hey everyone, and welcome! Today's explainer takes the downright chaotic news cycle of May 2026 and, well, organizes it into a crystal clear picture for us. We're going to do this by zooming way out. We'll start from a single, highly collaborative digital border right here in Edmonton, and then pull all the way back to look at the fracturing physical and political borders across the globe. It's a fascinating micro to macro journey. So let's get right into it.
Okay, let's dive into this because it's a really incredible story. Back in 2025, the Edmonton police received a tip about ongoing cybercrimes. But here's the kicker. It didn't come from your standard informant. It actually came from a network of ethical hackers. That single tip launched an unprecedented real-world collaboration that is actively intercepting scams and saving victims literally millions of dollars today. It is an absolute game-changer for digital security.
So, here is our roadmap for today. 1. Hackers help Edmonton police. 2. The Alberta separatism movement heats up. 3. National costs and investigations. 4. Global health as Ebola resurfaces. And 5. Tensions on the world stage.
All right, kicking things off with Section 1, Hackers Help Edmonton Police, Securing Digital Borders.
So, we're talking about scam baiters. These are ethical hackers who proactively network with each other to tip off law enforcement about cybercrimes while they're actually in progress. And what's really interesting here is how it frames things. Instead of just playing defense, this is a highly successful, proactive community police partnership. You've got everyday people crossing traditional lines to team up with authorities, saving victims millions, and establishing a seriously robust defense of our digital lives.
Moving right along to Section 2, Alberta separatism movement heats up, debating provincial borders.
Now, how do we go from a collaborative effort in Edmonton to a highly divisive debate across the entire province? Just look at the wild contrast here. On one hand, you have your everyday, normal municipal progress. Edmonton hosting an AI conference, opening a new recycling facility, replacing the aging high-level bridge. But right next to it, boiling provincial political drama over a separatism referendum. The juxtaposition between local progress and this sudden provincial upheaval is just striking.
And this provincial crisis escalated incredibly fast. First, the UCP prematurely releases a statement. Instantly, the Alberta Referendum Committee meeting implodes. The fallout is super swift. 2 cabinet ministers quit amid all the speculation. And finally, Premier Danielle Smith is forced to shuffle her cabinet and sets an October vote. It was a total domino effect.
The stakes literally hit a boiling point with the proposed Forever Canada referendum question. The committee sent this question directly to the cabinet, while separatists actively threatened to oust Premier Smith over it. So you can see our provincial borders are under intense political scrutiny right now before we zoom out even further.
Zooming out to Section 3, National Costs and Investigations, looking at the domestic scope. Over $1 billion. According to the Parliamentary Budget Officer, that is the estimated cost to Canadian taxpayers for hosting the World Cup. When you have a $1 billion sporting event on the horizon, it completely shifts the entire country's domestic focus and budget priorities.
But you know, the national picture is a really complex tapestry. On top of the World Cup, you have historic legal actions, like First Nations asking the court to enforce a drinking water settlement. You see new defense spending, with Alberta earmarking $21 million for a tech network connecting private industry with the military. And amidst all that heavy news, moments of huge celebration, like the Montreal Victoire winning Canada's first Walter Cup in women's hockey.
Next up, Section 4, Global Health, Ebola resurfaces, defending biological borders.
Picture this. An Air France flight bound for Detroit is abruptly diverted to Montreal due to Ebola fears. It shows us exactly how global health scares don't just stay over there. They can abruptly land right on Canada's doorstep, testing our jurisdictional protocols in real time. And notice the fascinating contradiction in the international response here. Step 1, a new Ebola outbreak is reported globally. Step 2, the World Health Organization assesses the situation and states the risk actually remains low. But despite that calm assessment, Step 3, the U.S. aggressively bans foreign travelers from impacted countries ahead of the World Cup. It really proves that fear dictates border policy much faster than international health advisories ever do. Pulling back to our widest lens for Section 5, tensions on the world stage, geopolitical borders. To put it all into perspective, just compare these headlines. Domestically, Canada is focused on internal settlements and sports championships, but internationally, there are literal fears of a Trump military intervention in Cuba, and citizens in Lithuania are scrambling for cover over drone alerts. It is a stark reminder how insulated our internal focus can be compared to the immediate literal threats happening globally.
The global friction points are incredibly dense right now. The U.S. Justice Department brings criminal charges against Cuba's Raul Castro. The Republican Senate pauses Trump's $1.8 billion anti-weaponization fund. Xi wraps Beijing talks with Putin just days after a Trump summit, really shifting those global alliances. And a NATO jet actually shoots down a Ukrainian drone in Estonian airspace. We are looking at a world that is deeply fractured by border disputes and high-stakes security fears.
We started today by looking at ethical scam baiters collaborating with Edmonton police, ordinary individuals working across digital borders to save victims millions and protect their communities. But as we zoomed out, we saw a province debating separation, nations abruptly shutting borders out of fear, and superpowers clashing over airspace. So the provocative question we have to ask ourselves based on today's explainer is this: while individuals collaborate locally to secure our digital lives, how will our leaders navigate the fracturing of our physical and political borders? Thank you so much for learning with me today, and I'll see you in the next explainer.